Hello and welcome to MSC Software's webinar series. Today's topic is Patran 2019 delivers exciting new enhancements for smoother and better user experience. The presenters for today's session are Edmund Kohler, Patran Product Manager, and myself, Bhumi Gadia, Product Marketing Manager. Before we get started, I would like to kindly remind you to fill out the polling question. Your feedback is greatly appreciated. And let's get started. So today's agenda, okay, I think we are hearing, is everybody having everybody hearing me okay, or? Okay, I'm not.
For me, the audio is clear.
Okay, okay, well, if anybody's having issues with audio, please let me know so we can change it or do something about it. Anyway, let's get started. So today's agenda is we'll look into Patran roadmap vision, then we will talk about the infrastructure, migration and hygiene projects, Qt support for Insight, and then Patran has a crash reporting system now, so we'll talk about that. Then we'll next move on to modeling, which includes SuperGroup support and enhanced group mirror support. Next, we will talk about the MSC Nastran support, which includes contact model checking with MSC Nastran over HDF5 results and maximum load case tracking. And last but not the least, we'll discuss the HDF5 results post-processing. In this, we'll give a brief introduction about what is HDF5 and how to do the HDF5 results post-processing with Patran, and also some customer user cases to show you how HDF5 is better than other result types. So at this point, I will give the control to Eddie, and we will get started. Okay.
Thanks, Bhumi, for the introduction, and welcome to this Patran webinar. So first of all, let's take a look on the product themes. And now the page should change. Yeah. So the product themes of this Patran release was infrastructure, something in the modeling area, Nastran support, and HDF5 results. The main theme of this release was infrastructure. So let's talk first about infrastructure. And there we had some hygiene projects and migrations. As you know, Patran is already over 40 years on the market, and from time to time you have to do some hygiene projects. We started end of 2017 with the migration from Windows 7 to Windows 10, and the goal is to have a robust, reliable environment for Windows and Linux. And currently we support Patran 2019 is certified on Windows 10, Red Hat 7.1, 7.3, SUSE 11, Service Pack 4, and 12 Service Pack 1. The next thing, or the next task was that we really have to take care of also about the graphic libraries. We replaced the Motif libraries and the Microsoft graphical libraries with Qt libraries. The benefit is that Patran has a common UI look and feel both on Windows and Linux. And Qt provides also a big benefit for us, for example, in the development. We can set up an automatic GUI checking. So this leads to a better product quality. In 2019, we had also some initiatives like Spaceball support on Linux for Qt environment. Then we updated and reduced the bill of material. We had initiative for robustness, and we had an initiative for memory handling and big model support. So this we had in Patran 2019 in general. And on the next slide, you see this was the last tool which we migrated to Qt. It's the Insight tool. You will find the Insight tool in the skin mode under the Result tab. And in the Classic mode, you find the Insight icon on the top level application switch. And possible user scenarios where you can use this tool, you see on the right side. You can make plots, coordinate-based ISO surfaces, plots. You can create also a contour plot, which you see in the middle. And then you see a real life case from my colleague Murakami-san from Japan, where you can see that with different coordinates in X and Y direction, you see the stress distribution. Okay, next slide. One infrastructure project was also the crash reporting system. So the basic important notice for you is this crash reporting system is in both platforms, in Windows and Linux. And the diagnostic file contains only Patran-related information when Patran stopped working. So no model details, no company information is included in this file. So what happens when Patran crashes on a Windows platform? You see it on the right bottom. It will show up this GUI and will inform you about the abnormal termination and will write the information about this termination in a diagnostic file. If you want to report this crash to MSC, then please get in contact with our support, and then you need the following information. You should describe the scenario, what you are working on it, and the steps to reproduce the crash in our QA department. Then, if possible, please provide the model data, and then send all with the generated diagnostic file to our MSC support. So this was everything about infrastructure. And Bhumi, can you take over?
Yeah, sure. So now we'll talk about the modeling support, modeling enhancements that are done in Patran 2019. So the first one is the SuperGroup support. SuperGroup is a new functionality that is added to Patran 2019. This is used to organize the model in submodels. So you can reuse the old model for variant modeling by using SuperGroup to define different analysis scenarios. And you can also structure big models into submodels. So let's talk about how it could be done. You can go to Group, SuperGroups, and then select Create, Modify. It is exactly similar capability as group creation, but the only difference is you can have different groups within a supergroup. So what's good about it is that you can also go to the analysis window and then select Analyze selected group and then full run, and then select your supergroup over here. So for example, you have a model and then you did a little bit of change to it, then you can just create another group for the changed part, and then you can create a supergroup out of that and then run the job for that, and then post the results for different supergroups and look at it as well in your viewport. So this is the brand new capability in Patran 2019. Next we will talk, here are the use case scenarios for SuperGroup. So here is a customer model from our customer Visman, and they have a submodel of each part in one group. They created a SuperGroup out of it, and then they were able to use the SuperGroup for analysis scenario creation, and they ran different scenarios in that case. Next, we will talk about the enhanced group meter support. Group meter capability was introduced in Patran 2018, and we used to have the composite modeling, composite group meter support with that, and now this capability extends to PCL function definition as well. So you could create element and material properties as well as loads and boundary conditions using the PCL field, and then you can go to group transform menu in Patran, and these properties will also be mirrored in your Patran 2019 release. So this is how you do it. Again, you go to group transform mirror, and then you have mirror capability, and this group has the properties that are defined with PCL function. So we'll talk about it in the next slide. So you'll see here that you have modified spatial PCL function. You created a PCL function, and then you define the thickness using the PCL and for this plate here. And then later, if you do group transform mirror and select this the original group and mirror to a new one, then the thickness gets transformed as well. And then you can verify the capability using a fringe plot right here, and you can see that the group mirror is done perfectly in this case, even if the thickness is defined with PCL. Next, we'll talk about MSC Nastran support. Contact model checking with MSC Nastran. We have here, contact check was introduced in MSC Nastran 2018. Hold on 1 second, sorry. So MSC Nastran can measure the initial distance between the two contact bodies, and this is useful for checking the initial state of contact setup and to check if any adjustments are needed before running the contact analysis. In MSC Nastran 2018, this was only supported for node-to-segment contact, and with MSC Nastran 2019, it adds the support to segment-to-segment contact. It is available for solution 101, 103, 105, 109, 112, 200, and 400. And it is fully supported in Patran 2019 for HDF5 Results post-processing. How you can activate it is you have to select the case control command and then select the cont check. There are 3 options under this. You can select the cont check equals to run, which basically executes the contact model check and proceed with the analysis normally. And then the next option is you can do cont check equals to stop. What this does is that your contact check will happen, and then it will exit the job, so you don't have to run, it doesn't run the full analysis. And then the third option is to do cont check equals to step. What this does is it will execute the contact check at each output request, either load or time step. And again, this is fully supported in Patran 2019 for HDF5 results. So how to set it up in Patran? So you basically, for contact check equals to run, you have to specify contact check in contact control parameters and check contact model here, and then plus you would have to select analyze entire model for run. This will run the full job for you and do the contact check before running the analysis. Next is contact check equals to stop. You select the contact control parameters, you select contact check model, and then in the method you have to select check run. This will give you the contact check only. And then for step, you have to do text editing. You can get the output for For contact check in several ways, you can print it out as well. So you can select cont check print, and here's the sample output, FO6 output for your contact grid status check. Next is the contact body distance check plotting. So you can plot this using fringe plot. So for example here, we have the initial overlap is ranging from 5.6 e to -4 to 1.8 e to -2. And you can go to create fringe and select your static subcase and then select contact check distance. And you will see the fringe plot over here for the contact body distance check. And positive usually means that you have the overlap, and negative value usually means you don't have the overlap. So in this case, anyway, and then you could also plot the marker plot for the same thing. You could go to create marker vector, select your static subcase, and then contact check, and here you can see the markers for between the two contact bodies. Here, we'll skip this since I talked about it in different slides. I'll give this to Eddie to talk about the maximum load casing.
Thanks, Bhumi. So one of the projects in 2019 was a customer project. It was a customer request, and it was regarding max-min load case tracking. So the task was to extract the maximum or minimums across result cases and layers. The derived comparison values and the load case tracking results are retained. So the benefit is that the user can plot from which load case the min-max value occurs. So let's see what is just a second, go back please. So what is a typical engineering use case? So after a Sol 103 run, the user wants to plot over all nodes the maximum displacement over all eigenmodes, and then he wants to know also at each node the eigenmode number. Yeah, so this is the use case scenario, and the function is implemented in the result application GUI under create result maximum. And please, next slide. And here you see how it's implemented. So first you go to result and you choose create result maximum. You select result cases, you select the result and the quantity. And on the next, just a second, I have to get the laser pointer where I have it. Just a second. Bhumi, you have changed the slide?
1 second, no, let me sorry, everybody.
Or can you give me control?
Sorry.
The former one.
Yeah. Okay,
the
you
former
have
one.
control.
Yeah, this is GUIs.
You can, there is a laser pointer, and you can
Yeah.
control back.
Can you give me the control?
Yeah, you have the control now.
Yeah, but not the laser pointer. No. Okay, never mind. Okay, just show the GUIs, please. Yeah.
Okay.
Then on the right side you see with which criteria you are doing this comparison, with algebraic or absolute. And if you confirm the input, then you get, do you see this on the right side, a new result case and with several results below. And these you can plot. Next slide. And here you see a typical example on the left side. For example, there you have nodal results and you post-process the maximal displacement over all eigenmodes at the node location. And at the node location, you see then even the eigen mode number. So I think this is really a nice tool, especially for aerospace industry. If you think about wings, especially in fighter planes, there you have pilots below, and there you should know how the eigen modes behave. Then in the middle, you see a plot with element centroid results. So there you see the maximum from meter stress over all frequencies. And beside, you can see the frequency. And on the right side, you see a real-life model, which I have used to plot maximum frequency against eigenmode numbers. Yeah. So what is important for this? You can create min-max result cases over each global variable. So load case ID, mode number, frequency, eigenvalue, time step, or load step, or layer. So this is completely implemented in this tool. Okay, next slide. Let's come to my favorite topic, HDF5 result post-processing. Next slide. So first of all, what is HDF5? HDF5 is a shortcut for hierarchical data format. And it's an open source, it's an industry standard, and it's developed by the HDF group. You will find this in the internet, this group, and a lot more information about it. So who are the users of this HDF5 format? At the beginning, astronomy research departments has used it, genomics research department has used it, and then CFD and CIE companies are using this. So the format is used everywhere where you have a lot of data and metadata. HDF5 has 6 important characteristics which covers in the best way the needs of the CFD, CIE requirements. So in the first thing, heterogeneous data, HDF5 supports n-dimensional data sets. Yeah. Then they have really a fast I/O. So HDF5 is a high performance I/O with a rich set of integrated performance features. Then what's really important, you should have the capability to easily share the data. So HDF5 is portable with no vendor lock-in and is a self-describing file format. Then cross-platforms, if you think about Linux and Windows, so HDF5 is a software or has a software library that runs on a range of computational platforms. Then metadata gets more and more important, and HDF5 allows you to keep the metadata with the data, so it's in one file. And last but not least, big data. So HDF5 format is designed that they have no limit on the number or size of the data objects in the collection. So this gives us a really great flexibility for big data. Now let's take a look on MSC, what we have done. Next slide, please. So why we have chosen this format is, CIE data is also really complex, and you have all the sorts of sizes and types, and this is covered by HDF5. Then this format is self-describing, so you can extend this, and every size and type of system is supported. So MSC started in 2016 with the initial implementation in Nastran 2016. And we had additional enhancement in Nastran 2017 and 18. By the way, both input and results are stored, and it's supported in Patran 2017 18, and 19. When you introduce a new result format, you want to improve the process, yeah? And you see on the right side this nice picture with punch file, XDB, master, DBAll, OP2 file. So, you know, punch file, you can easily use it for getting the data into Excel. Then XDB was the best thing that you can attach the results. You don't have to read it in or import it. Then, of course, we have Solve for 100, which is important for us. This should be also in it. And then you have a lot of customers who are using OP2 with their in-house tools where they extract results. So if we want to have a new result, we need some improvements, yeah? And so therefore, we wanted to have a single file to save input and output. It should be human readable, and Patran should access and attach it. And the customer should have the capability to access also the results. And the top priority is and was scalability and performance. So let's take now a look on some benchmark which I got from the field. These two benchmarks I got from Ken Walker. And you see on the left side a nonlinear static analysis with 50 increments. And the impressive thing is the attach time, yeah? In HDF5, you attach it in 1 second. And with OP2 new, you wait 3 hours. So you can go out for lunch. And creating plots, you see this is also much more faster than in OP2 new. On the right side, you see an analysis, a transient analysis with 2,500 time steps. And here is also an interesting thing, the attach time. But I think the animation time is really impressive that you see against OP2 new, we need only half the time. With XDB, you need 4 minutes to get an animation done. On the next slide, you see a benchmark problem from Europe, which I got from Carl Reilly. And on the left upper corner, you see this chart, and there we have 3 interesting things. You know, file size in gigabyte does not care. Everyone has enough disk space. But the required memory in gigabyte, the memory peak when you access these results, this is interesting. So with XDB, you need 10 gigabyte. And with uncompressed or compressed HDF5 0.9. Then the next interesting part is the I/O in gigabyte. Because if you think, if you have a client application on your laptop and you access the results from somewhere else, and you have only to move 0.7 gigabyte, this is really a difference instead of moving 258 gigabytes. And then last but not least, the time to attach the file and create a quick plot of the last result case in seconds. There you see XDB and OP2 is really, really slow against HDF5. So my recommendation from my side is that customer should think about to move in future to HDF5 because they have a lot of benefits with this format, and you spare a lot of time. And I think this is the result format for the future. And then I'm at the end. Bumi, you take over.
Okay, thank you. So these, again, we will go through, we'll just open the poll for questions and we'll answer questions right now. So let's read a few questions that are here, Eddie. Can the maximum minimum feature be used in transient analysis?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then the next question is, does HDF5 implementation also include aerodynamic database that is solution 144, 145, 146?
This I have to check because I do not have the current table with the result formats
Okay.
in front of me.
Yeah,
We will write an email.
Yeah, so we can write an email to the customer. And then the next question is, how do we request the output in HDF5 format?
Can you go back?
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to make you the presenter and you want to show it in Patran?
You need. Let me check it.
Give us a few minutes for that question, and then there is another question, which is, do we get this presentation copy after the event? Yes, the recording for this webinar will be posted in a couple of days, so we can send you the link for it later on.
So check us just a second. I have it immediately. This question regarding what has to be written. This is, you have to use the parameter MDL PRM HDF5. Then you get the output.
For solution, for all the solutions, right?
Yeah.
So you have to write the parameter in your bulk data file. It's a modeling parameter, so you write it under begin bulk, right? Yeah. And then next question is everything supported in HDF5, or there are reasons to use OP2 XDP master debug?
Not everything is up to now supported by Patran. Most things are already supported on Nastran side, so we have to catch up. So in the next release, we will have again a project regarding HDF5 post-processing. So this is a multiple release project, which we have on our side. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll update you about that more on. And actually, we are planning like a series for HDF5 results post-processing beginning end of April. So you could always attend those webinars. It will be like a series of webinars to introduce you to HDF5 and what are the new things that are there, and like more detailed presentation for HDF5 results. So I will make sure to send invite to everybody on this meeting for that webinar. The next question is, does the HDF5 format need special software to read the human readable part, for example, the viewer?
The HDF5 viewer is a tool which you can download as a freeware from the HDF5 org group. So this is a freeware from HDF5 org group.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. If you have any other questions, please type in the Q&A panel, and we'll be happy to answer them right now. There is also a system cell that you can request for HDF5, system cell 702.
Any other questions?
We will, so what isn't supported in, we will have, several people are asking questions about what exactly is not supported in Patran 2019 HDF5. I think we will have a detailed presentation about what are the things that are presented and what are things that are supported and not supported. In a couple of weeks, I will send you guys an invite. So please wait for it. It's a very detailed conversation, so we'll save it for another hour later on. Thank you. Um, there's
So,
a question, is there a way to couple Patran to Edwimo?
this I will check with Mr. Nukator separately, because Advimo is a toolkit um, for wind turbines.
Okay.
This is not, the release themes were infrastructure and and Nastran support and HDF5 post-processing. Arduino is a toolkit which is separate. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. We will get back to him, yeah. Okay, if you have any other questions, please type in the Q&A panel. Again, we will have the recording of this webinar uploaded in a couple of days. Okay, it looks like we don't have any other questions coming in. So we will end this webinar here, and thank you everybody from MSC Software for attending this webinar, and thank you Edmund for the wonderful presentation. And have a wonderful day, have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Bhumi.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.